Good morning, everyone. Welcome to India Cloud Connect 2021. My name is Patrao. I lead the channel business here at Atlassian for India and South Asia. India Cloud Connect is our flagship event that we do along with our partner, Amrut Software. Today's theme is cloud, security and compliance, and migration around that. We've got a great set of speakers lined up for you from Atlassian, Amrut Software, and a few of our customers will be speaking on the same. There will be a poll on the top along with some questions and feedback to be given at the end of the session. Please do answer this, and there will be some giveaways at the end of it. To start things off, I'd like to introduce Adrian Ludwig, who is the Chief Information Security Officer here at Atlassian. He will be talking about the cloud, the compliance and security around Atlassian Cloud. Thank you so much for attending the session. I look forward to meeting all of you in person soon.
Hi, my name is Adrian. I am the Chief Information Security Officer here at Atlassian. I'm going to spend a few minutes today talking with you about how we do security and improve the security of products at Atlassian, and hopefully answer some of the questions that you might have and get ahead of them for you. The first thing that I want to point out, and I'll do that in the form of a question for you as the audience, is, what does security and trust mean for you? As I talk with customers, as I talk with people inside of Atlassian, the answer to that question varies pretty significantly. And because of the range of different answers that we get, I'm going to talk at a very high level about what it is that we're building and how we're approaching security. And hopefully this will address some of the questions that you might have and give you a better understanding of how we're approaching this. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail in any one specific area, but it's going to be a pretty broad overview and should give you the visibility that you're looking for. Our top level goal is to become a leader in cloud security, exceeding any requirements that are in industry standards or certifications, and really to be proud about publishing how we protect customer data. Our belief is that over time, Atlassian will get to the point where for every single one of our customers, the best security decision that they can make using our products is to use our cloud products. And so that's our goal, right? Is to have the use of our cloud products improve the security of our product for you, and also improve the overall security of your business. And we take that very seriously. If you were to talk to our CTO, he would tell you the same thing that he tells all of the employees that are working in research and development at Atlassian. Our number one priority is security and reliability. It comes before features and everything else. It's the most important thing that we can work on, and that's how we prioritize it. At a macro level, we think that building trust in our products is something that needs to be invested in across the entire company. We're very big on research and development. We spend a significant portion of our overall revenue and our overall budget on engineering. And the number one priority for those, actually at this point, over 3,000 engineers, is to focus on security and reliability. It's our number one priority. We have a security team that's a very dedicated set of security professionals, over 100 of them providing comprehensive set of security services, as well as working with the independent risk and compliance and audit functions and privacy team throughout the rest of Atlassian. We spend a lot of time interacting with customers, helping them to understand what it is that we're doing from a security perspective and gain understanding of them. We also spend a ton of time interacting with the security community, researchers that are both at other companies or even working independently, encouraging them to help us improve how we build security into our products. If you were to look at us from an organizational standpoint, we have a full range of different capabilities. There are over 60 different capabilities that we're tracking with a set of metrics to make sure that we're being successful. We've been organized those into program areas, and then those program areas have teams that are dedicated to specific areas like corporate security, product security, security development, security intelligence. Our focus, of course, is to make sure that we provide best-in-class capabilities across the full range of security needs. We have operations currently in Bangalore, India, in Sydney, Australia, in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area in the United States, in Austin, Texas in the United States, and in Amsterdam, giving us 24/7 coverage around the clock for any particular security incidents that might happen, and making sure that we're able to respond in a timely fashion. With Team Anywhere, we also recognize that we have more folks distributed throughout the rest of the world, which gives us the ability to tap into top security talent and give them flexibility to work on the types of projects that we have going on at Atlassian, which can be pretty exciting for them. One of the results of this investment in research and development, both within the security organization and across the broader company, is a comprehensive set of security features. Our goal is to have pretty much everything that you might want in terms of how you can integrate our products into your security environment. We have the basics, things like encryption in transit and at rest, as well as tying into your security access controls, support for SAML SSO, tying audit logs into any kind of security detection system that you have, enforcement of 2FA, and on and on. A lot of investment recently going into support for BYOK, as well as data, having location controls around where your data can be stored. Underneath these product features is an architecture that's been designed to make sure that our products can be as secure as possible. We run all of our cloud on top of AWS, that's Amazon Web Services infrastructure. We have global points of presence, both to provide for data localization and to provide performance and availability. Things like having automated failover in the event that we have an incident affecting one of our availability zones, make the service more reliable, and also provide us with the ability to have enhanced security and disaster recovery. From an architecture standpoint, our product is built on a centrally managed platform as a service. So we have something that was designed to make it easy for our development teams to build microservices and the underlying infrastructure for those microservices managed centrally so that we can have uniform application of security controls across the code that runs all of the applications that we provide. So for example, we can provide encryption as a service, and it's not necessary for it to be implemented by every single one of the microservices because it's just done at a central level. Similarly, data isolation, fault tolerance, and a number of the other security primitives that are fundamental to having a robust microservices-based architecture. One point that I often emphasize, especially when you're comparing the architecture of cloud services to on-premise solutions, is that the cloud services, because of their ability to have inter-service authentication, authorization, because they're isolated into individual microservices and there's security controls between those microservices, the blast radius for potential compromise is reduced very significantly. So we think it's really important to take that into consideration when you're thinking about these applications. One last thing that we like to touch on is that we have a centralized logging capability. All of the elements of our entire infrastructure flow into that centralized logging capability so that we're able to then provide detection and incident response for security or other types of outages or incidents that might happen anywhere in the company, whether that be in products themselves or whether that be in our enterprise services as well. Our development effort is also guided by security. Product security team works to build out, finding, fixing, and preventing security vulnerabilities across Atlassian's products and infrastructure. Our goal is to have as much as possible of the development process be automated. I'll give you an example. Prior to check-in of any single line of code into our source code repositories, we run a set of tools. I think last we counted, there are about a dozen of them coming from open source, coming from a couple of security vendors, as well as proprietary things that were built internally that check for potential security vulnerabilities. Those could be things that are public security vulnerabilities, or they could be things that we're tracking internally that haven't been made public that we want to make sure aren't getting into our code. So those are surfaced in an automated fashion every time a single check-in takes place within our environment. Additionally, we have ongoing review processes, both security review, privacy review, compliance checks, and an emphasis on making sure that the products are meeting security expectations. Beyond what we do internally, we also have a public bug bounty. It's one of the most successful bug bounties out there. We pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to security researchers around the world who help to identify issues. And we have regular bug bashes where we invite security researchers. We haven't done one in the last year, but before that, we were having them fairly regularly, where we were inviting security researchers to join with our team of engineers, sit down literally in the same physical space, spend a weekend or a few days trying to find security issues, and then using that as primary validation. Once an issue is identified, we do have a publicly documented SLO for how quickly we will resolve security issues. Historically, resolving critical issues is done in 2 weeks or less, high in 4 weeks or less, moderate, low, 6 and 24 weeks, I believe, is what the current SLO is. The reason that I hesitate a little bit is that we're regularly looking at those SLOs and enhancing them. In the last year, we've lowered all of the SLOs by at least 1 week. Our goal is to make sure that we are reducing the SLOs and getting faster at delivering security updates to customers, while at the same time hitting those SLOs. So we maintain over 99% compliance with that SLO over the last year. So really are committed to making sure that all those issues are being resolved as quickly as possible. One of the key ways that we're able to drive that level of SLO compliance and make sure that teams are delivering effectively on their security requirements is something that we call a security scorecard. This is an internally developed tool that we have within Atlassian. The goal is to be able to measure and then steadily increase our security posture across all of Atlassian. So literally every single individual who works at Atlassian has their effort roll up into a security scorecard. That security scorecard keeps track of both employment-related activities. Are they properly signing into applications? Are they using the VPN correctly? Do people have two-factor authentication? So sort of standard enterprise-level security efforts, as well as development efforts for those teams where they're building software products and then making them available. So here's an example of some of the recent scorecard items. Every single row that you see represented here is what we call a module. The goal of these modules is that over time they drive higher and higher consistency and improve the overall security of all of the efforts that we do across Atlassian. We have about 20 modules right now, and we're regularly adding new modules. So our intention, as was mentioned at the very beginning of this presentation, is to get to the point where across all of the different capabilities that we have, across all the different programming areas that we have, we're a leader in this space. So our expectation would be that at some time in the future, probably in the next couple of years, we'd be able to publish complete information about all of the different things that are in our security scorecards and give you roughly real-time understanding of what the status is across all of the engineering efforts that we have. The intention is to score from 0 to 10, and where something requires action in order to get up to a 10, we flag that, identify it, and then security engineers work directly with the folks in the affected product team that need to take action and make sure that that action is taken. So that's some of the work that we do on the development side. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about our operations work. I mentioned earlier that we have a unified logging infrastructure. All of the security events that take place within our own product, that take place within software as a service applications that we use that are provided by third parties, and in any of the on-premise products that we use in our environment, flow directly into that unified logging infrastructure. So we're able to do correlation of the incident events across all of these different places to be able to figure out what it is that might be happening. We have a dedicated team of security intelligence, both detection and incident response globally that provide 24/7 detection and incident response. They are building out a system that does automatic detection based on third-party tools that identify potential security incidents, as well as internally develop scripting and first-party tools that we use to identify potential security issues. For example, we might detect a potential incident that takes place on a specific server looking at OS query data. We can enrich that using third-party threat intelligence systems. We could then score it to determine whether or not a human analyst needs to go in and do an investigation, and they can follow up and begin that investigation. It's critical that we be able to do that across all of our environment, and so we do. In addition to that, for our own infrastructure, we're in the process of building out a capability for the broader ecosystem. As you may know, many users of Atlassian's products use them not just standalone, but also use products that are provided by third parties that tie into our infrastructure and tie into our applications. The Atlassian Marketplace is one of the places where those types of applications are made available. There also are, of course, what we call second party, or applications that are built within an enterprise to tie into their Atlassian infrastructure. For those, we are in the process of building out a set of security programs to add robustness to those applications, as well as to add monitoring to detect for potential issues that might be affecting these. Last but not least, part of our operation is to make sure that we have tied into the overall IT strategy for Atlassian to incorporate security best practices into that as well. We have two other efforts that I want to emphasize that we think of as trust and verify. We have a red team. That's a dedicated team of security researchers within Atlassian whose sole job is to emulate attack against our environment. Right? They're not doing penetration testing. They're doing full-scale attacks, both building out listening posts and then connecting into our services. They're launching phishing attacks and then trying to use that to move laterally through our organization. They're trying to be as sophisticated as possible and help us to confirm the effectiveness of both our security controls and our detection and incident response capabilities. They also lead something that we call red team camps, which are effectively tabletop exercises targeted at specific issues that we want to resolve that may not be possible for them to do in a full attacker simulation type of an environment. Additionally, in terms of verification, we have a bug bounty program. We've partnered with third parties, both security researchers and BugCrowd, which helps to provide management of that program. We have hundreds of researchers that are constantly doing security validation across our entire infrastructure, trying to see if there's any potential security issue or if there's something that we need to take action on. In addition to bug bounties being provided, we also allow any third party who wants to do security research to perform penetration testing against our infrastructure. So if you want to do that, by all means, please do. Obviously, we would love to hear if you find anything so that we can take action on it. We maintain numerous and expanding security certifications, inclusive of ISO and SOC 2 and a number of other certifications. Are in a process of expanding that and have monitoring that's being provided by third-party auditors related to that. One of the last things that I mentioned here is that we have an extensive effort in responding to questionnaires and questions that might be raised by customers. Our normal methodology is when we receive a question, we'll go ahead and turn it into a public statement and then make that available on our website. Our preference, of course, is to try to make sure that all of the information that we have is available to anybody who might be interested in using our products. And so we're pretty aggressive about making sure that that information is made available publicly. For example, most of what I've talked about, in fact, all of what I've talked about today, and a whole lot more has been published in a white paper. You can find it by going to this page that's mentioned below on the Atlassian Trust Center. It's about 35 pages worth of text that goes into great detail on all of the different elements of our practices. So with that, I will leave this slide up so you can copy down the URL. Again, my name is Adrian. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer here at Atlassian. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And if there's anything more that we can do, don't hesitate to ask. Always happy to provide more information about how it is that we're approaching security here at Atlassian. Have a good day.
Thank you, Adrian, for your insights in security and compliance. I believe that is quite critical for most of our customers, be it regulatory compliances, be BFSI compliances, or industry-specific compliances. Next up, we have our own Chief Technology Officer, Vishwajeet Singh. Vishwajeet is going to talk to us about how to supercharge the Atlassian cloud deployments using the marketplace. Over to you, Vishwajeet.
Hello friends, my name is Vishwajeet Singh. I'm Chief Technology Officer at Amrut Software. Let me welcome you on this talk of Supercharge Atlassian Cloud with Marketplace app. So before we get into the talk, let me give you a quick introduction about Amrut Software. Amrut Software is a pioneer with a decade-long history with Atlassian. So we are the first partner of Atlassian in India. So we have a team which is proficient in customization, development, and migration of Atlassian products. So with dedicated center of excellence, having full stack expertise on Atlassian tools. We are catering to demands of customers not only in India, but the region around India as well. So we have offices in Mumbai, Pune, and Bangalore. So our Atlassian journey started in 2007. So when we, for the first time, we brought Atlassian partnership in Indian subcontinent. So by 2018, we had grown to 35 customers. By 2013, we had 150 plus customers. And in 2017, we became the first platinum partner in this part of the region. And in 2019, we created the largest value for Atlassian Cloud in the Asian subcontinent. And in 2020, Atlassian announced and selected us as a enterprise-ready cloud partner, and that's being only one in this part of the region. So we are the only enterprise-ready cloud partner in India. So we have customers ranging into various verticals. So Atlassian tool set cut across different domains, different verticals, and we have customers whether it's an automobile sector, IT sector, new age companies, telecom, healthcare, manufacturing, or BFSI. So you name a sector, we have customer base in that particular vertical or that particular sector. So let's get into the talk of the day, which is supercharge your Atlassian Cloud with marketplace apps. So we will be talking about prominent use cases for marketplace apps. Why would you need marketplace apps? And then how do you effectively use those marketplace apps? So we'll also be touching upon some of the prominent apps. Those apps obviously are mentioned. Only pure metric is popularity of usage. So those are these are not recommendations, or these are not endorsements of any sort that you should use those apps. It totally depends on the business case which you are trying to solve, kind of scenario you have. So this is the one statement which basically defines why marketplace is required, right? So you got a problem, you have just found that there is a missing capability which you are looking for, or there's a missing integration which you are trying to stitch across. So if there's a problem you just found, there's an app for that. So that's how I would like to put across the efficacy of the marketplace kind of capability which brings in. You realize that there's a problem which needs to be solved, you go to the marketplace, and I'm sure like 9 out of 10 times you would find a solution which is readily available. So why marketplace apps? So you would be thinking that I have already made an investment in Atlassian tools, why should I use apps? So you have to think about that there is no one size fit all kind of approach. So there's Atlassian offers tools with a lot of extensive capabilities, but still every business has different needs and different requirements. So that's where marketplace comes into picture and plays an important role. So it helps you to custom fit Atlassian products to your needs, helps in improving overall ROI of your tools investment, and also bridges the gap between the different teams using and different tools. So if you integrate, say for example, 2 tools, you are able to bridge the gap between the 2 teams. And then it also helps you to encourage the overall adoption. So if there are teams which are trying to looking for some particular feature or particular integration, and the marketplace will offer that capability. So that helps you to improve your adoption and encourage teams to basically use Atlassian tools. And ready-made solutions are available for the common use cases. So there are like a lot of solutions which are available out of the box for many capabilities which most of the customers may need. And this is a very vibrant community. It's like more than 900 plus apps which are available in the marketplace, and they are growing by the day, which helps you to basically meet growing demand of your business users and business requirements. So I would, as part of this talk, I would just highlight few use cases. This is not an exhaustive list. There are many more use cases which you may encounter and which you may have solution for. I'll just briefly touch upon these 3-4 use cases which are there. So primarily being automation, test management, reporting, and integrations. So there are more capabilities which are available, but I will just, for the sake of this talk, I'll just restrict myself onto these 4 use cases. So let's get into the automation. So automation typically refers to something which needs to be done without any human intervention. So if you want to say, example, transition the issue to a particular state or things like that. Or for example, if you want to simply close an epic when all the stories are closed, or as complicated as allocating a asset to an employee into an asset management system when a request is approved, right? So those are kind of capabilities which automation definitely can help with. And then automation helps you to save, like a recent Forbes study found that like it can help you on an average save 6 weeks of time every year of a particular employee. That's a huge saving. And automation also helps you to reduce the dependency on individuals. So if you want to uh, get things done and that's a repetitive and mundane activity, then it could basically pretty much done through automation rather than actually being dependent on a human. So let's move on to talk about some of the apps which are available. So script runner, I think if you have used Jira and you have an implementation of Jira which is like of like a mid-size or enterprise level, you would have definitely heard of script runner. So script runner basically brings in scripting capabilities using your programming knowledge of Groovy. You could write basically custom automations. You could basically bring in different capabilities. You could write listeners and all those things, which basically helps you to automate a lot of other stuff. So PowerScript, another app which again you brings in scripting capabilities. They have their own simple issue language, which basically is more of a proprietary thing, which basically is more understandable by business users. If you don't know programming, it's relatively faster to learn. And then there's an app which is basically Jira Suite Utilities, which basically uh, is helpful for people who basically want to use do automation through UI. So you don't know the code, you don't want to write the code, then I think Jira Suite Utilities is a very good choice for you. So let's move on to the next use case, which is test management. So test management, I think every company today is a software company. And when you are writing a software, testing that software is very crucial. So a good test management tool provides you two-way traceability. So you could basically go to the requirement, to the test case, to story, to the test case, right? So you could basically bring that traceability. And since most of the business users are in Jira, your developers are in Jira, having that test management capability within Jira adds a lot of value to the business as a whole and team as a whole. And 85% of bugs happen in development, but fixing them later actually is 40 times more expensive. So having that collaborative environment where your developers are working, your testers are working, that's definitely brings more value to business. So that's why we have apps which do offer test management capabilities. So there is an app called X-Ray, which has like a very extensive test management capabilities. So it can help you to maintain your test cases, test lifecycle scenarios, and all those kind of capabilities. Then there's a Zephyr by Smart Bear and another tool which is called Qmetry. So these as a whole meet different requirements of different customers. So some people may like find X-Ray more useful for their business case. Some other may find Zephyr. Some other may find Qmetry. So these are like they're kind of not like a silver bullet which fits everybody. So depending on the business case which you are trying to solve, you may pick one of those three, or you could actually pick something else, or you could use some standalone test management tool which you would possibly which you could integrate with Jira to enhance your test management capabilities. Another interesting use case, which I think is very crucial, is reporting. So things like you want to measure KPIs, you are bringing that process improvement, you are adopting Agile, you are adopting DevOps. But if you are not able to measure things, then I don't think you could basically improve upon things, right? So you can't really improve on something you can't measure. So having proper analytics and reports is key to any successful process improvement. So if you are able to have a proper analytics and reporting capability built in the tool, then I think you are on a way to improvement. Unless if you are able to do that, I don't think you could possibly improve something which you can't measure. So if you can measure something, you can improve upon it. If you cannot measure, it's like kind of some metric which is fuzzy, then I don't think you could basically bring in a change to basically improve that metric. So improving what you can measure, what gets measured gets done. So Easy BI is, I think, a pretty popular reporting app which is available in the Atlassian marketplace. So it gives you a power of almost like a BI tool within Jira. It basically, you could generate ad hoc reports. It has standard templates which are available, so you could generate. So I think this is one of the most extensive apps on the reporting available. Obviously, Atlassian offers a lot of capabilities in terms of reporting, but then every customer has a different need. So that's where Easy BI tool like Easy BI comes into picture. It's a very extensive tool which offers a lot of capabilities, a lot of reports which could be generated. You can generate ad hoc, you can do customize the report formats and all those things. So if you're not looking of that kind of power, you just need some a decent graphs and charts, then the custom charts and reports are your choice, which could basically gives you the capability of having some beautiful charts getting generated and beautiful dashboards created out of Jira, the reports which are there. So let's move on to the new use case, which is integrations. So siloed tools don't offer expected ROI. I think you all will agree with me on that. That if we have separate teams working in different tools and they are not able to talk to each other, so the value which you get out of that all these tools may be very limited. So that's where integration becomes a very crucial piece today. So we want to use the best tools which are available for different teams, but then we also would want to have the capability of an ability to talk, but the tools to talk among themselves. So this helps in facilitates making teams more efficient, faster turnaround time of, say, delivering a feature or doing a particular task, and work on tools you love and get updates from other tools. So like, for example, developers love Git, not that they don't love Jira, but they still love Git more than probably they will love Jira. So that's where I think they want to, and then the managers and other Scrum Masters and others actually like Jira more because of its reporting capabilities. So we could basically get both best of the both worlds. So developers are happy using Git and doing their development and still able to post updates to Jira. So you could basically integrate the two and get the capabilities. So integration, I think, is one of the more very common and frequent use cases. So you may want to integrate with your CRM, you may want to integrate with your network management tools and whatnot. So because unless if the tools are in siloed manner, then probably you will not be able to get that kind of a return on investment which you have possibly planned for when you started that kind of implementation which you are doing. So let's talk about some of the popular integration use cases. GitHub, as I talked about Git. So GitHub, I don't think there would be anyone who would have not heard of GitHub. So GitHub is pretty popular Git repository management platform. So developers love that, but still we would want that commits to come in Jira, so you could possibly integrate your issues with Git commits, those kind of capabilities. So you could have your code where you need it, right? So it's not like siloed into putting into the code is into GitHub repository, features and stories are sitting in Jira. So they are coupled with each other, they are integrated with each other, and you're bringing the best of the both world and getting that capability. Then bring your Jenkins build into Jira. So that's another use case which is required. Your CI pipelines, CD pipelines are running into Jenkins. You could bring them into Jira. You could basically have those builds available in Jira. You could link them to your user stories and all those kind of capabilities which you need. That's pretty much available through this integration. And the third integration, which is Azure DevOps, you could integrate Jira software with Azure DevOps. So a lot of times there are teams which are using these separate tools. There's some part of team which is using Jira software, some team using Azure DevOps. So you could integrate both them, and data can basically sync between the two systems. So you don't have to basically go look and update in other system, and the systems automatically update each other. So both the teams are happy in what they are doing and in the platform they are doing. So I'm just like to also highlight some of the apps which we have developed. Amrut Software is pretty active in Atlassian ecosystem, and we also are active in the marketplace, developing many apps. Some of the apps which I like to highlight is Chat for Jira Service Management. So it helps you to chat with your customers. So it's basically for Jira Service Management, where your customers would be on the portal, and you can chat for them in real time and resolve issues and help them in the faster manner. And another thing which is an integration is Nagios. Nagios, you have not heard of, is a network and infrastructure monitoring platform. So you could basically push your incidents which are getting reported in Nagios into Jira, and you could stay on top of your infra issues. So you could basically get everything tracked in single location in Jira. So third app, which is I think coming soon, is I think one of the very capable apps which helps you to break down your user stories into tasks and helps you to estimate those tasks. So there is a machine learning algorithm, intelligent neural NLP algorithm, which basically runs in the backend, analyzes the user story written in a particular format, breaks them down into the task, and estimate those tasks. So this is another interesting app which we are working on. It's going to be available soon. So I will just request you to keep a tap on this, and as if you're interested, just buzz us, and we will update you as and when it gets available into the marketplace. So I would like to conclude this talk with some of the best practices from the marketplace. So you have to put proper governance in place for installing new apps. You cannot really just go on adding, since the apps are available, you cannot just go on adding all those apps, right? So you have to justify the business case and look at that. Okay, if there's a business case which needs an app, then you just do that analysis that, okay, there's this capability which you're looking at is not already available in your Jira with or your Confluence or your Bitbucket with an existing app or out of the box. So sometimes what happens that it's just the sheer lack of knowledge which basically leads us to install an app and then we later realize that there is already a capability which was there with out of the box available, right? And then it's also a good practice to perform regular review of what apps are installed and what teams are using, because what we have experienced that many times there are apps installed but nobody is using it. Just somebody got it installed, tried it, and then just forgot it. So it's basically a more of a hygiene thing to keep your Atlassian ecosystem clean, so you don't have any unwanted things or things which are not being used. So with this, I think I would like to conclude that marketplace definitely is a key instrument which helps in improving Atlassian adoption, tool adoption, which is there. So it helps you to bring in more power and more capability. So definitely when you are looking at adopting Atlassian tools, or you are in early journey of evaluating Atlassian tools, don't only evaluate what Atlassian offers, also evaluate what is the capability which is available in the marketplace, because there is like a huge capability, huge apps, many apps available, which offers a lot of capability to customers. So you could basically get more value out of your tools implementation. So thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you taking out time and hearing me out. I'm looking forward to the Q&A at the end of the session. Enjoy the rest of sessions. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Vishwajeet, for your insightful talk on the marketplace and how to supercharge the Atlassian offering. I've always believed that the marketplace offers so many opportunities to customers as well as developer companies. This is exactly where players like Amrut Software come into the picture. We have an insight into what kind of plugins are more suitable to your business case. We do the mapping, we help you with the match the following in a way. There might be multiple plugins available for the same functionality. So having somebody like Amrut in picture always helps you to identify the right plugin at the right cost, at the right user tier, with the right functionality. So if you have any questions regarding this, if you would like to get your existing ecosystems analyzed, you can definitely reach out to us at connect@amrutsoftware.com or any of our sales email IDs, and we will be glad to assist you with that. A quick reminder to all our participants, we do have a question and answer session at the end of the webinar. So please feel free to drop your questions in the text box right now, and we will take them one by one. Next up, we have Aradhana Gupta from Amrut Software. She's going to be in conversation with a couple of customers, and they're going to discuss how Amrut has made the difference in their cloud journey. Over to you, Aradhana.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Devasis. He's the CIO and Senior Vice President at Mphasis, and been the CIO since 2016. He has a distinguished career of over 25 years in the IT and ITES industry. He has worked with very high performing teams and fast moving in IT information technology companies. In Mphasis, he has worked over many transformations and helped his teams to be more collaborative and productive. One of these, we've been fortunate to work with Devasis sir and his team on one such transformational journey. So welcome, sir, to the Cloud Connect. And how are you doing today?
Thanks, Aradhana. I'm doing great. Thank you for that. It was a really long introduction, and possibly I'll try to kind of live up to that expectation. So thanks, first of all, thanks for having me here today.
What would you say would be a typical challenge when someone is looking at a digital transformation of this kind as an organization? So from your experience, vast experience, what would you say is the...
So digital experience, digital transformation, if you talk about, I will definitely say startups are in the most favorable position because they are born on the cloud. No startup wants to invest a lot of capex. Doesn't make sense from the economy and of course the nature of business they are in the initial days, and they can't create teams to deal with those nuances of running those applications on-prem as well. So it is best suitable for startups to run out of cloud, and that is the right time, right thing. But in large enterprises, things are a little different. There are different contractual obligations, there are different legacy systems, there are different customer priorities for which you might have to run certain tools and applications on-prem. But coming to the cloud side of it and startup side of it, the most critical component we need to keep in mind is speed. Speed of acquisition, speed of deployment, and speed of making things kind of operational, right? That is something cloud can enable. That is something you can really get in certain cases, few hours. We all know AWS and Azure story. You can get VMs rolled out in few hours or few minutes at times. Or depending on the criticality and possibly complexity of the solution that you are deploying, you possibly can have a solutions in days and weeks. In current days, we don't want to wait for a solution to live after 3 months, 9 months, 1 year, and so on, so forth. It is always a requirement that if there is a thought in at the moment, we should translate that thought into action and show it running in reality. And that is something cloud can enable you. That is number one. So that gives you the speed. Of course, along with the speed, it gives you agility as well. In a startup world, a lot of things changes on the fly. We are not looking for a hard-coded rigid system which does not allow you to change for a long time, because any change request, you need to rope in the right team, find the right solutions around it, do the BRD, which is typically business requirement document, etc. And by the time you deploy it, it is good a few months. So that probably doesn't fly well in the startup environment. You need things to really translate in, again, days and maximum weeks. That is something we can achieve again on the cloud world. Many things happens out of the box, because that is what SaaS is all about. When you take a platform or a solution or software as a service, you take the end output of it. You are not worried about the layer on which it is residing, be it hardware layer, be it operating system layer, or even at times be it application layer. You are just worried about the outcome, and that is what is given to you by the SaaS operators. And in this case, of course, we're talking about the Atlassian solutions on the cloud. That is something definitely to look forward in the current environment. Makes a lot of sense for the startups to look at the cloud. The third point I will say is the flexibility. It is very, very critical for the startups to have that flexibility, because you do not want to possibly stay invested or commit for a long-term plan, because the world outside is very, very dynamic. You want something which will be as dynamic or close to aligned to your dynamic requirement and whatever the priorities that you may be having. So that is the, again, power of the cloud. With the clouds, you can definitely switch and tweak the way you want. So that is the way to look forward for the startups. And I believe if you can adapt the cloud from the beginning, that is the best solution you can get.
Great, that was very insightful. And what would you say were your typical challenges or some concerns that you had while you're in your transformation journey, and how did you go about mitigating that or overcoming those challenges of yours?
Couple of points I would definitely like everyone to know, and that is, we have gone through that. Things would have definitely changed, matured over a period, but still I'd like to share my experience out here. As we know, on-prem solutions, we have everything in our data centers, so-called server rooms, and it is the internal team who is responsible to ensure the application is up to date from the version, from the capability, features set, etc. point of view. At the same time, it is very, very critical for the enterprises to have the product completely compliant to different security and compliance needs. So as an enterprise, you would be definitely having multiple such frameworks, multiple customer requirements, multiple statutory requirements. So you need to have each of your solutions, each of your tools, each of your applications that is running within your environment to align to those standards or those compliance needs. It is a mammoth exercise. You take it from me, whatever you do, there'll be something left out somewhere. And that creates a huge issue in case of an audit, or worst case scenario, bad luck happens, somebody exploit that, then you are gone, because the risk that you carry because of that is really, really huge. It's a brand reputation risk. That's your kind of life and death situation, right? So that is what completely changes when you move to the cloud. When you go to a SaaS environment, you don't have to worry about a hardware level vulnerability or into operating system level gap or anything to do with the application layer. You are only worried about the platform, which is at a complete your application related work. So just as long as you take care of that, rest everything is taken care by the OEM. So there is a dedicated team who is focused on this. Their only work is to ensure your platform is up to date, compliant, doesn't have vulnerabilities, and so on and so forth. So you will not really run with open exploitable vulnerabilities for weeks and months, which is pretty common. And to pull out research paper, it says anywhere between days to 3+ months. That is what enterprise runs with open vulnerabilities. And that is a huge risk for anyone today. right? So that is something you definitely address by going to cloud. And that was one of the driver for us when we decided to move to our cloud, right? Second, which is the most critical one, and as I said, things definitely would have changed now as I could see it. But when we started, it was initial days, I'm talking about 3 years back, right? The maturity of industry in terms of having the right skilled people, having the right frameworks, and of course, having the ecosystem to support the cloud adoption and migration was not there. Because it is obvious that any enterprise will have multi-cloud environment. You will not have only one cloud per se, right? You might be having a ERP running out of one cloud. You might be running the basics of office automation and of course productivity systems like email, etc., running from one cloud. You will have Jira kind of solutions running from another cloud. So eventually you want all these clouds to talk to each other. You need to have an integration layer. At the same time, you have to ensure the security across these layers are completely tightened, because you don't want from data when get transferred from one cloud to other cloud gets compromised, because those are the most critical asset of your business. So those are the maturity which was missing in the earlier days. We could see huge change over period, the last 3 years, whatever the migration we have done, we have seen those changes, but that is something you need to keep in mind. Create a right framework, right blueprint in terms of how you want to integrate different cloud environment, and have the right team. When I say team, it is internal team, at the same time the right partners, and definitely set the right expectation with everyone and drive that migration. Then only you will be successful. Otherwise, you will get into big trouble. So that is the most critical component for any cloud migration. Keep that in mind. Skills is very critical. Having the right architecture for integration is very critical from data security, at the same time availability standpoint. So keep these things in mind. I believe rest everything will fall in place.
Thank you. That was really insightful, and I'm sure a lot of our audience would have a lot of pointers to take back from this on their journey to cloud. Yeah, so thank you so much, sir, for your wise advice and your sharing your experience with us. Thank you for being on Cloud Connect, and looking forward to having many more interactions with you in the future.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure and talking to you today and having me here. Thank you, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker for the day is Mr. Devrat Kumar, who is a team lead at Ola Cabs. Hello, Devrat. Welcome to Cloud Connect. And can you tell us a little bit about how you use Atlassian at Ola Cabs? What were your major concerns moving to cloud?
We are using Atlassian Jira in multiple use cases in Ola. One of such use cases, we are using this for workflow management, for which we were hosting this in the Jira data center, which we have migrated on Jira Cloud with the help of Amrut Software team.
So how are these challenges mitigated, and how seamless was your journey into cloud?
There were a lot of challenges when we started UAT and migration process. At that time, a few were unseen to Amrut Software teams as well, but they handled it very handsomely, and they were on their feet round the clock. Looking back, we are very happy with the migration process, and thanks to the Amrut team for their dedicated efforts. With 10 major projects having more than 500 workflows, a total of 9 million tickets, thousands of attachment, size was a major concern for us. Amrut Software did their analysis and came up with the solution to speed up the process so that we can meet our timeline.
Thank you, Mr. Devrat, for those beautiful words. Have a great day. My next speaker for today is Mr. Adil Kambata, who is the IT Manager Technology at Hungama. Welcome, Adil, and welcome to Cloud Connect. And do tell me a little bit about your Atlassian stack and your current move to the cloud.
Hey, hi everybody. This is Adil here. Hi. I am with Hungama since last more than a decade here, and I'm actually enjoying the challenges and the outcomes here. Okay, and Amrut Software, we can say Amrut Software is with us since more than 5 years, and we are successfully implementing Jira, especially the Jira application, which is absolutely amazing. Okay, Atlassian products are, you can compare them to Microsoft or Google. Okay, and yes, I would say I need to name some competitors, because you guys are absolutely rocking. And Jira application overall is amazing. Okay, on-prem version, we were using the on-prem version since long time. Okay, and we were enjoying the perks and everything, but due to the circumstances and security reasons, and we had to move to cloud version on this version, or you can say this year we had to move it to the cloud version. So we had to go with Amrut Software and tell them to migrate our on-prem version, which was very much older version. We had not touched it much. Okay, so there were challenges while transferring, or you can say migrating, but Amrut Software gave us one full you can say a flow. Okay, how to go about it. We started a UAC 1 week back. Okay, and the UAT was amazing. Okay, seamless. And then when we started the migration on Friday, okay, by Monday morning 9 a.m. I was on cloud already. Okay, and I would really thank Amrut Software to give me a real good opportunity to work with such an amazing company. Okay, first time in my life, after, or you can say after a long time, I've seen somebody given me a commitment, and that commitment is coming to fulfill within that commitment time. So I thank Amrut Software. Okay, especially Divya. Okay, she's been a relation manager with us since a long time. Okay, I have not got any trouble, asking them for any discounting part or support part. They are really supportive. Okay, in migration this time, Mr. Ashish was there, Mr. Vaibhav was there. Okay, these people and other members were also involved. Okay, I don't know the names much, but Mr. Vaibhav, I really thank him. Okay, he's given an amazing support to us and given us the cloud version, as per the commitment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adil. That was very, very nice to hear. And yes, we do put in a lot of effort on our customers, and happy to know that we were one of them who would benefit from it. Now that you're on cloud, can you tell me what do you feel are the benefits of cloud, and if there is any concern that you had which were mitigated along this way?
So if you tell me exactly right now, so right now we are still new on cloud. Okay, but I don't see any difference as much. When I started working on cloud version, I was almost equivalently seeming like I was working on the on-prem version. Okay, there's no much changes. Okay, and all my users are migrated very well. So I need to more explore. I need to explore more cloud, and it will take time because it is huge. Okay, and it is very much deep. Okay, we haven't gone yet deep inside, so we will be starting to explore Jira. We have already taken Confluence as a product. Okay, and my product team and other implementation team have started using Confluence also. Okay, and we have started integrating Jira and Confluence together and doing the work. Okay, let's see. I'm getting a lot of offers from Atlassian to check out their other products like Opgenie and everything. So let us see. Okay, whatever is required. I know Atlassian is damn good. At the same time, if you see price-wise, they are bomb. But it is in Hindi. If we say it is paisa vasool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you for those words. I'm sure Atlassian also is very happy to know that their products are well appreciated. Any parting words for anybody who's looking out to move to cloud? Any advice or any suggestions that you need to give them?
I am not having any idea about any people who are moving to cloud or anything. But yeah, if you can say when it comes to Hangama and its products, I'm very serious about it, and one of the first and only one company which has given me commitment and they have fulfilled is Amrut Software.
Thank you so much, Adil.
Why I'm so much pressurizing, because I am real serious about it. When it comes to any other big companies also, they have not given me as per their commitment. Okay. But yes, from Amrut Software, yes, first time I'm really impressed that I've got it from Amrut Software, and it's amazing working with you guys.
Thank you so much, Adil. Thank you for being on Cloud Connect, and all the best for your cloud endeavors.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now I would like to welcome Ms. Tamanna Godara, who is the Community Manager APAC at Atlassian. She will tell us about how the community is adopting cloud. Welcome, Tamanna.
Hello everyone, welcome to Cloud Connect. I am Tamanna Godara and I am Community Manager at Atlassian. And today I'm going to talk about how Atlassian community is adopting cloud. So before I start, I would like to tell you that Atlassian community is a place where the users, solution partners, and Atlassian team come together. So, at a high level, the Atlassian community is a global network of people with a shared mission. And that shared mission is to build relationship and expand their knowledge of Atlassian product. The community leaders are sort of a microcosm of that broader community, and they are the stewards of this movement. They are invested in it, they are eager to help shape its future, and they care about the membership at large. A community leader is a person who has sort of been in the trenches, has been using Atlassian tools for at least a couple of years, and is eager to share those learnings and best practices with others. I think a great community leader is also a dot connector. These folks are intrinsically motivated to support other members. They love networking, they love knowledge sharing, and they just love bringing people together. And this is our mighty army. So we have around 400 folks who are currently active in the program, out of which 280 plus leaders are cloud leaders, which means that they have expertise in the Atlassian Cloud product suite. And out of these 400 folks, they are sort of broken up into different types of leaders. So we have online leaders who prefers to answer questions in the online community. They like writing articles, they like starting discussions. And then we have a cohort of folks who host events. So they have these local communities. They are really invigorated by networking and bringing people together. And obviously in COVID times, those in-person events have sort of been translated virtually, but everyone is still having lots of fun. And we also have a group of humans who are sort of our unicorns. So they wear both of those hats. So they're both online leaders and events leaders. As you know, this is a volunteer position, and to keep the excitement and engagement, we offer really cool swags, which I know excites a lot of folks. We have free vouchers for certification exams and badges. And I just want to share these images because they are just wonderful, warm and fuzzy moments from some of our in-person events. These are some of our leaders and our members of our team hanging out with the founders, Mike and Scott. You see the folks, gathered around the table chatting about community stuff and, the challenges, pain points, etc. And then again, there's this wonderful group of community leaders sitting front and center for the keynote at the big user conference. So it's not like a lot of work that we are putting into the program, but it is propped up by a lot of these magic moments where we just have a lot of fun and connect with each other. When we were meeting in person for our big user conference summit, now Team 2021, we had community day and a VIP dinner with our founders. We've also launched a new set of perks and rewards starting this January 2021 to keep up the excitement. And community is also a place, where leadership interacts with users one-on-one. So after the announcement of end of sale of new server licenses, the leadership team came forward and wrote this post where they answered all user concerns, got feedback, and talked about the future plans. It is also a place to win cool cloudies. So we have this active challenge going on for you all, where if you answer like 30 cloud questions, you get to take home a plushie called Cloudy. And there are more such interesting challenges announced every month. So be there and win these interesting swags. It is also a place where product managers talk about the latest feature announcements, performance improvements. As you see in this post, you can jump right in and give your feedback to them. And I've been telling a lot about why am I excited about the program or why I think it is cool, but I think it makes it more meaningful when I share one of the quote from our current leader, Jimmy. He said, helping others solve challenges has helped me grow as well. I feel that every day I'm on the online community and learning about a new way that someone is using one of the products, and a number of times suggestions from others spark an idea for me about how I can have our company make better use of Atlassian products as well. So it's kind of a nice give and take where he's like answering questions, but he's also like learning along the way. And to sum it all, if you want to, learn more about the program, go to this URL, which is community.atlassian.com/leaders, or you can, directly reach out to me at tgodara@atlassian.com, or you can ping me on LinkedIn. So thank you for spending time with us and learning a little bit more about our little corner of internet, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Tamala. That was indeed insightful. Over to you, Amol.
Our next speaker for the day is Scott Goh-Davis. Scott is the Solution Engineering Manager, APAC at Atlassian. There's hardly anyone, I believe, in the Atlassian ecosystem or customers who's not heard of Scott. Scott is going to give us insights into how to migrate on Atlassian Cloud. Over to you, Scott.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Scott, one of the solutions engineers at Atlassian, and I head up our pre-sales team for the APAC region. During my 3 years here, I've seen quite a bit of consolidation and migration scenarios. In fact, so far that's led to over 125,000 customers who have now successfully moved to Atlassian Cloud. And this spans numerous countries as well as logos across the globe. One point of interest, both the fastest migration and one of the biggest migrations were completed here in the APAC region, thanks in large part to our local partners. Today, I wanted to share with you several insights from those experiences embodied by a single persona, Om. Om has used our core products, Jira and Confluence, for a number of years. Along the way, he ensured good governance, kept their setup to a single instance, as well as their versions recent. In fact, the latest enterprise release is already in production. Due to company growth, they've approached the 2,000 user mark, with additional usage anticipated. Everything was running just fine on site through 2019, and then early 2020 decided to impose a completely new definition of normal on us all. Companies who had previously been tentative about leaning harder into the cloud were suddenly rushing through the door. Case in point, Zoom skyrocketed from 10 million daily meeting participants in December 2019 to over 300 million by April 2020. And Atlassian was certainly not immune from those same forces, especially when you look at, number one, working from home meant that users were more distributed than ever before. Number two, a surge of remote access that immediately taxed VPN configurations from many organizations. And number three, both of those combining to shorten the usual windows for any maintenance as workers' habits changed. None of these had ever been factored into the original design or sizing to keep things running. In short, some IT systems began to struggle fast. Om had seen updates from Atlassian in recent months on its SaaS offering and decided to do some additional research. Enter Atlassian Cloud. It sounded appealing, but how to get there? For that matter, where to begin? so many questions. After some searching on Atlassian's website, finally found a good starting point. Using the Migration Center, he was able to distill 7 key insights that we'll see next. As any new questions came up, though, he would always come back to here. Segmented things into 2 main areas: how best to plan on the left and assess on the right. Planning included starting a formal review for his InfoSec team, as these alone sometimes take weeks. Conducting a full analysis of any and all customizations or add-ons in use, also taking a good amount of time. Investigating migration paths available and their associated tooling and trade-offs. And finally, ensuring that their SSO needs are still met once they transitioned into Atlassian Cloud. On the assessment front, discovered that they could fire up an extended trial straight away to help with things across both Atlassian standard and premium tiers to ensure best fit. And once ready, lodge a move ticket to have a cloud migration manager assigned. First off, Om's team located everything they needed to finish a thorough security review using our trust site. Hundreds of pages of controls and details were quickly ingested, and these were across standardized information gathering and Cloud Security Alliance questionnaires. They were also happy to see that Atlassian Cloud's infrastructure was built on AWS, tapping into its core high availability and disaster recovery features across global regions. Even at a high level, all of the right check marks were obviously in place. GDPR, encryption at rest, SOC 2 compliance. That meant that the main applications were in good shape, but what about their additional applications? Even with good governance from before, Om knew it was best to reevaluate all usage of all applications instead of a basic lift and shift. They had to check on things like a full top to bottom inventory of applications they still had. Who was using them? How? And are they still being used? Are they essential? And are there now similar features or alternatives that are available? Ultimately, Atlassian Cloud is a new platform with new features. Spending some time now to verify business needs is best, which is exactly why Om engaged an Atlassian partner to assist. Once an inventory has been taken and checked, it will also be vetted when examining the tooling to move the underlying information itself. Add-on migration assistance available for your on-prem installs help to track every application status, comparing them across server to cloud, checking that a new version of each app exists, and showing Om's team top-line metrics to factor in along the way. Of course, migration is a much broader topic than we'll cover today, but Atlassian's assistants provide a solid foundation to test, modify, and implement a number of migration strategies for both Confluence and Jira. With a better sense of how to physically get their data over to Atlassian Cloud, Om turned next to looking at how best to secure it. Could they still tie into their IDP? What about two-factor authentication? Could they limit access based on IP addresses and so on? How would all of these be tackled going forward? This is exactly what Atlassian Access was created to achieve. A single unified layer of end-to-end security across Jira and Confluence that ties into your existing identity provider. In fact, it does this using key industry standard protocol support, such as SAML-based SSO. In fact, most major ones are a simple config change. Om was definitely glad to see Okta already there. Additional ones are also available through our APIs if necessary. They also wanted to take advantage of the SCIM-based provisioning in Access, which would make day-to-day administration for their user base of over 2,000 much easier by carrying across not only user profile, but group and permission information to all Atlassian Cloud products. On the planning front, things are looking good for Om's team, but how could they test their findings without double purchasing another set of licenses just for the cloud? And which tier makes the most sense? Was there anyone at Atlassian who could guide them through the final phases? Standard trials are too short for a migration, and nobody wants to pay for an annual fee that's mostly unused. So to help with this, Alm noticed that Atlassian provides an extended cloud trial. These are associated with an existing support entitlement number, or SEN, and align with your current maintenance period. This means they'll finish when your maintenance runs out, up to a maximum of 12 months, and your trial will match your current user tier up to a maximum of 5,000 users, giving you much more runway to shift to Atlassian Cloud. Trials happen above and beyond any free sites in use and can be done either at the standard tier or the premium tier, which yields a guaranteed SLA, unlimited storage, and a growing list of features such as the IP allow list that Alm was looking for. Across all of these, Atlassian Access ensures wall-to-wall coverage for all users. It also puts Alm in position to look at Atlassian's enterprise tier once available. With the trial now in place, Alm and his team can explore the new UI and mobile apps that are available for Atlassian Cloud. This works across Jira Software as well as Jira Service Desk projects without any VPN required. As a result, we've had a number of customers comment on how the mobile app alone drives adoption further across their organizations, especially with business and executive users. Further stepping up to the premium tier provides built-in options to archive projects in Jira, something they were lacking on Server. Archive projects are retained as read-only, so any links and macros continue to work. However, they're pulled from the underlying index to help improve performance. Automation in Atlassian Cloud is a no-code rule builder that enables customers to create if this then that rules based on events in Jira. While available in all tiers, Premium includes cross-project and global options not present in Standard, allowing teams to automate a wide range of processes. Moving beyond daily team activities, Premium also includes advanced roadmap capabilities, previously called Portfolio for Jira, that enable multi-team and organization level road mapping and dependency tracking, multiple scenario planning, and capacity planning. With these, you can track and visualize efforts across all projects. Advanced roadmaps are specifically designed to deal with the number of dependencies across a large body of work. Plus, you can build different versions of a plan in order to account for things like best and worst case scenarios or different strategic options that are available for your organization. Best of all, when you're done, you can push those results directly back into the projects themselves, keeping your teams on track company-wide. Next up with Confluence, which also has an improved UI and mobile app for Atlassian Cloud. You can view activity, find work, and take action straight away, all while receiving alerts directly from your mobile. In addition, Confluence Premium provides full analytics that shows you how often your pages are viewed and by whom. As your site grows, managing permissions across a large number of users, groups, and spaces can become quite challenging. In Confluence Premium, if you're ever unsure why a user's access levels are off, Inspect Permissions helps you to pinpoint exactly where you need to adjust things, saving a lot of guesswork. As with Jira, Confluence Premium gives you the option to archive pages in order to keep things streamlined. Archiving a page removes it from your page tree, excluding it from quick search, advanced search, and analytics. Links to archive pages will still work. However, these will have an archive lozenge next to it, letting users know. Across all products in Atlassian Cloud, the premium tier provides additional user activity metrics, the option to limit access to your instance by specific IP settings, and soon the ability to automatically spin up a separate sandbox area for testing. When our enterprise tier becomes generally available, we're targeting things such as an increased SLA guarantee over premium, data residency controls, and release tracks. More to come here soon. With enough information now in hand to start things in earnest, finally opens a move ticket with Atlassian. This triggers the assignment of a cloud migration manager, a specialized resource in our support organization, to work with Om's team across all phases of the migration effort. As the last step of Om's key insights across planning and assessing, these are clearly useful for any customer contemplating a move into Atlassian Cloud. For more details, be sure to check the cloud migration page listed. We're always putting the learnings of customers to as much use as possible, especially when moving to Atlassian Cloud. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott, for your insights into migration to Atlassian Cloud. We will now be having a quick question and answer session. I believe you've already posted your questions in the comment box. Please keep them coming, and our panel will be more than glad to answer them. Over to you, Vishwa.